Hello, my dear students. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I will be teaching you from your curiosity book, chapter number 8, A Journey Through the States of Water. We have a small quote over here. If it does not rain well, even the mighty ocean will be drained. Water is very essential in our life. Okay, so let us start with the chapter. On a bright summer afternoon, Avi and Thirav enjoy their shikanji. What is a shikanji? Shikanji is a lemonade. It's made up of lemon, sugar, salt, and water. All right. After looking at the ice in the lemonade, Thirav wonders about the nature of ice and water. So, what is happening over here? Thirav and Arvi, on a bright summer afternoon, they are enjoying a lemonade. Okay, so now this boy Thirav, he looks at his lemonade and he sees the ice in the lemonade and he wonders about the nature of ice and water. What does he say? He says, ice feels hard to touch and we can hold it in our hands, whereas water cannot be held in the same way. So they must be different substances. So he's thinking that ice I can hold in my hands. I can touch the ice when I touch it, it feels hard. Whereas water, I cannot hold it in the same way as I can hold ice. So they must be different substances, he's wondering. Okay. And Avi says, no, these are the same substances. She has an answer. She says that these are the same substances. That is, ice and water are same. So she counter view to Thirav. What do you think? Why? Then she says, we can put water in the freezer of a refrigerator and check if it gets converted into ice. Okay, so can we all do this? Just take water in a small bowl or in an ice tray and put it in the freezer and then take it out after some time. What will you see? That it gets converted to ice. Okay, so here what does Thirav says? Yes, I know when water is left in the freezer, it gets converted into ice, but probably something gets added to the ice in the freezer. So he's like, something must get is getting added to the ice, to the water, so that it gets converted into the freezer. So the question is, do you think Thirav is right? How can you find out? You can find out on your own by doing the same experiment. Okay, so let us observe activity 8.1. Put an ice cube in a cup. Take an ice cube from the freezer and put it in a cup. Leave it on a table and observe. Put it on the table and just see what happens. What you will see, after some time, the ice gets converted into water. So what do you conclude from the observation? What does this mean? Does that mean that ice and water are same substances? Yes, they are the two forms of the same substances. Okay, so these forms are called states. These different states of water show differences in their behavior. Okay, water flows, but ice does not. Water splashes, but ice does not. Ice feels cold, water at room temperature feels warm. Okay, ice, you can hold it in your hand, water cannot be held in your hand. So here we have two states of water. One is the liquid state of water. Liquid state of water, that is the water. And then we have the solid state of water, that is the ice, right? So we see that they are the two states of the same substance. All right. Now, we have Article 8.1, Investigating Water's Disappearing Act. Now, what is this? It's a rainy morning. Okay. And Avi and Thirav, they both are going to school. Would they observe that there are a lot of water puddles in the playground because it was rainy in the morning? Then that evening when they go to play, they are surprised to observe that some water in the puddles have disappeared. Okay, so the water in the puddles they saw in the morning is no more the same in the evening. have you ever noticed water in the puddles disappearing? Where does it go? So now you have to think about it. Where did the water go? Can you discuss it with your friends? They may have an answer. Okay, so have you just think, have you ever seen water disappearing anywhere else? Can you think any possible reason why water is disappearing? Okay, so also at home, just observe your mama or your house help or anyone who is doing the dishes. Maybe if you're helping your mom and you are doing the dishes, then see, you might have observed that after washing the utensils, water left on the surface of the utensils dries. Okay, so once any one of your family member washes the utensils and they keep it on the utensil stand, after some time you are going to observe that the water on the utensil dries on its own. What is the reason? How did the water disappear in this case also? So now Avi and Thira, they are wondering how did this happen? So Thira says that water does not seep through the surface of the utensils. There is something else that is happening in the water. So they thought, let us investigate this, how it is happening. Okay, so in activity 8.2, let us investigate where does the water go. Okay, so what do? Is we take a tablespoon of water on a steel plate as shown in the figure. You see there's a steel plate and we have taken a tablespoon of water. Now observe whether water seeps through the other side of the plate. Will the water seep through, go down from the other side of the plate? Keep observing until the water completely disappears. What do you infer from this activity? Did the water seep through? No, there's no hole in the plate. There is no leakage point. So the water did not seep through. Then where did the water go? The water gets converted into gaseous state, okay, which is called water vapor. So water vapor is another state of water. All right. So now we come to know the three states of water. What do we come to know? The three states of water. Let me draw here. States of water. So what are the three states of water? We learned in the beginning of the chapter, we have the liquid state, that is the water. Then we have the solid state, that is the ice. And then we have the gaseous state, that is the water vapor. All right. So these are the three states of water: solid, liquid, and gas. While making dosa, oh, have you ever seen people on the dosa man making dosa? We sprinkle some water on the hot pan and it disappears. Where does it go? So now we have our answer. When we put water on the hot pan, because of the heat, the water, the liquid state of water turns into the gaseous state of water. That means it becomes water vapor. All right. Water vapor is actually invisible. Can you see water vapor? No, it is invisible. But the presence of tiny droplets of water in the steam makes it visible. All right. So the water which is sprinkled on the hot pan gets converted into steam. Steam is actually nothing but water vapor, some part of which converts into water droplets. All right. The process of conversion of water into vapor state is called evaporation. So children, what is evaporation? Question. What is evaporation? The process of conversion of water into its vapor state is called evaporation. So evaporation is a process in which what happens? The water is converted into its vapor state. The liquid state of water gets converted into the gaseous state of water. So now we have a question that can this process evaporation take place even at room temperature. So can you think of any example where evaporation is also taking place at room temperature? Yes, we do have some examples like drying of wet clothes, mopped floor, the water disappears on its own, sweat on your body, on a body. So these are some examples where water is getting evaporated or getting converted into vapor state on its own, that is at room temperature. Okay, so now what do you think is the reason? We were talking about the water puddles. Okay, the water was disappearing from the puddle. So what is the reason? Is it seeping of water into the ground? Is it evaporation or both? So when we talk of water puddles, then water is basically, if it is on some muddy ground, then in that case there will be some seepage also and evaporation as well. But if it is on hard ground where seepage is not possible, then only evaporation is the reason. All right, so now there is another mystery which Avi and Thirav has come across, and that is they saw that when they take a glass tumbler and they put water in it, cold water, and also some ice in it, so that to make a lemonade, what do they notice? They notice that there are tiny water droplets on the outer surface of the glass. All right, so now they are thinking what could be the reason. Though Avi comes with a lot of reason, she says that maybe ice comes out of the glass tumbler and melted. So is it possible? No, it's not possible. Then she say maybe water seeped out from the of the glass tumbler. Is this the reason? No. So here Thirav is saying no, 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 that is not possible. Water cannot come out of the tumbler, and if it comes out, the level of water should go down, and it should be visible from our eye that yes, water is seeping because the level of water is going down. So now they're discussing this, that why, what is happening, what is the reason for the tiny droplets of water on the glass. Okay, so they continue their discussion. Okay, now they think that where else have we seen this water droplet? So they say that dewdrops, have you seen dewdrops on plants? In the early morning you go out and you will see that there are dewdrops in the morning on leaves or flowers. Okay, so even on grass surfaces. Okay, so when we boil water in a half filled utensil and cover it with a steel plate, okay, boil water and then just take a normal steel plate, dried steel plate, and uh, cover the utensil. You will see on the inner side of the utensil there will be some water drops, okay, which has accumulated. So from where these water drops are coming? So basically here all these things that is happening, it is happening because of one phenomena, that is condensation. All right, and what is condensation? Condensation is the conversion of water vapor to water, that is the gaseous state of water to the liquid state of water. When it comes in the when the water vapor comes in contact with a cold surface. All right, so when water vapor present in the air comes in contact with a cold surface, it forms water droplets, and this process of conversion of water vapor into liquid state of water is called condensation. So when we talked about the glass, sorry, this doesn't look like a glass, but okay, let us consider this as a glass filled with water and ice cubes. What happens when vapor in the air, the water vapor in the air, it comes in contact with this glass surface which was cold. Okay, then what happens? The water vapor gets converted into water droplets. Okay, and what is this process called? The conversion of water vapor to water. The process is called condensation. Okay, so if anyone asks you what is condensation, what are we going to write? The process of conversion of water vapor, that is the gaseous state of water, into the liquid state of water, that is condensation. All right, after understanding the concept of condensation, now Avi and Thira both can get the reason for activity 8.3. All right. Similarly, we have another activity over here, that is activity 8.4. What are we going to do in this? In this, we will take a glass tumbler half filled with water containing some ice cubes. Now we cover it with small steel plate and weigh it on a digital weighing balance. Okay. Observe the reading on the balance and record the weight of the water after every 5 minutes. And then you do this observation for 30 minutes. Okay. So what will you predict? What will happen to the mass of water? Will it change? Will it increase or decrease or remain the same? I think it should remain the same. So for that, we need to do the experiment. And when you do the experiment and write down your prediction, you may observe some water droplets on the glass tumbler. Okay, which was the water vapor from the air that it comes in contact with the cold surface of glass tumbler and gets converted into water droplets on the glass tumbler through the process of condensation. So there should be an increase in the reading on the digital weighing balance, right? We thought there was no water going anywhere. We covered also the glass of water with a steel plate. So what we predicted, that the reading balance will remain the same. But what did we observe? We observed that the digital weighing balance showed an increase in the reading. And why did it show an increase in the reading? Because water from the air, the water vapor from the air comes in contact with the glass tumbler, gets converted into water droplets due to the process of condensation. So we have some extra water here. Okay, and that is why the reading increases. All right. Okay, so now we're coming to what are the different states of water. So we have already understood what are the different states by now. Can all of you tell me the different states of water? Solid, liquid, and gaseous. All right, solid state of water, ice. The liquid state of water is water. Okay, and the gaseous state of water is water, vapor, or steam. All right, so we already know this. You can go do this activity on your own, and then you will come to know about the different states of water and their properties. All right, so let us just quickly see what is the activity. The activity says we have to put an ice cube in one container, transfer it to another container of different shape. What will you see? What changes in the shape of the ice cube will you record? Then pour water from one container into a container of different shape, and then you see how does water behaves and compare it with the behavior of the ice cube. Okay, pour water on a clean surface and see how it spreads. Okay, when water gets converted into water vapor, how does water spread? Okay, so if you think about them, we come to know about the three properties of the three different states of water. First property is shape. So ice, which is the solid state of water, have a fixed shape, has a fixed shape, because even if you take it out from one shaped container to and put it into a container of different shape, it will not change its shape because it has a fixed shape. All right, water does not have a fixed shape. It takes the shape of the container, a fixed shape. Okay, what does it do? It takes the shape of the container. And when we talk about water vapor, absolutely no, it does not have any fixed shape, no fixed shape. Occupies the entire space where kept in. Okay, so it occupies the entire space we keep it. Now, ability to flow. Can ice flow? No. Solid state, they cannot flow, whereas water and water vapor, they can flow. Yes, and that is why they are also called fluids. Do you know? What is fluids? Fluids is anything that can flow. So water vapor or water, they both can flow. The both state of water can flow, the liquid state of water and the gaseous state of water, and that is why they are called fluids. Okay. Ability to spread. Does ice spread? No. Water, yes. Vapor, absolutely. It occupies the entire space given to us, to you. Okay, it spreads everywhere. All right, if you take a closed container, it will occupy the closed container. It will, if you keep the container open, it will occupy the entire space given to them. It spreads to the entire space given to it. All right, so from here we come to know about the few properties of the different state of water. All right, so here let us discuss ice, water, and water vapor. So coming to ice, that is the solid state. Okay, it retains its shape. That means it has a fixed shape irrespective of the container in which it is placed, while water takes the shape of the container. And ice, they do not flow or spread. When we talk about water, that is the liquid state of water, it flows, it changes its shape. Water does not have a fixed shape. It takes up the shape of the container in which it is kept. But the volume of the water remains constant. Okay, that does not change. If you take a bottle which is of 500 ml, okay, and put water in it which is 500 ml, so it occupies the 500 ml volume of the bottle. And if you take a bottle of volume 1000 ml, okay, and put 500 ml of water, so it will take this half up till 500 ml. So volume will not change. Water has a fixed volume. All right. So does water also possess the properties to spread? Yes, it can spread. You just put some water on the floor, it will spread, but its volume will remain constant. Now coming to water vapor. Water vapor is in gas, that is the gaseous state of water. It exhibits the property of spreading out. It does not have a fixed shape and it does not have a fixed volume also. It occupies the entire available space. As I told you, it spreads to the entire space available to it. So they do not have a fixed shape and they also do not have a fixed volume. Okay, water vapor, they even exist at room temperature and it is invisible to us. It is present in the air around us. Okay, so water that evaporates during the process like drying of clothes, mopping of floors, okay, all this water, they contribute to the water vapor in the air around us. Okay, so this chapter tells us about the three states of matter. It tells us about the three states of water. Sorry, it tells us about the three states of water. Some other substances also exhibit these states. For example, wax, okay, oil and ghee. Okay, these also, wax can, if you heat the wax, it will convert into the liquid state of the wax, right? Same way, ghee, when it in cold season, you will see ghee is frozen or butter is frozen, but when you heat them, they melt, right? So there are some more examples where solid substance gets converted into its liquid form. Okay. Is it possible with stones, wood, or glass? No, it is not possible with stones, wood, or glass. All right. Now, how can we change the states of water? What are the process by which we can change one state of water into the other state of water? All right. So we know that water exists in how many different states? Three different states. That is solid state, liquid state, and gaseous state. Now, how can you change the state of water? We will be learning about the processes. Okay. So let us see. So before we discuss about the different processes in which the three different states of water can change from one form to the other form, we have something here to know. You know about atmospheric water generator, what they are? AWG. The full form is atmospheric water generator. They are machines. And what do? They collect water. From where they collect water? From the humid air around you. And they collect water and convert it into a drinkable form of water. Okay. And how it is done? It is done by the process of condensation of water vapor from the humid air. They collect water vapor by cooling the air. Okay. And then if you cool that water vapor in the air, what happens? By the process of condensation, they convert into water droplets, and finally we can get water in the drinkable form using or atmospheric water generator. So it is something similar to that activity we did. We saw how water droplets from the air was coming in contact with this cold surface of tumbler and getting converted into the water vapor was getting converted into water droplets. Okay, so it is the same process, similar kind of process. Okay, so now let us see through the process quickly. We see that there is a process by which solid gets converted into liquid state. Okay, any solid, we spoke about wax right now, that is the candle. When you heat them, it gets converted into its liquid form, right? So this conversion of solid to liquid is called melting. So when we take ice, which is the solid state of water, and we keep it outside, or if we heat it, give it heat, what happens? It converts to water. That is the liquid state of water. I should write state over here. Solid state, liquid state. Okay, so this conversion is taking place by the process which is called melting. Okay, ice is getting converted into water. So the process of conversion of solid into liquid is called melting. The process of conversion into liquid, of liquid into solid, that means water is getting converted to ice, then this process is called freezing. Okay, so you take the liquid state of water, put it in the freezer, what do you get? You get the solid state of water. So in the first case, that is melting, what happens? Solid is getting converted into liquid, and in case of freezing, liquid is getting converted into solid. Okay, so we have an activity over here which we can write down. So first, what is happening? From A, number one, it melts. Okay, how it melts? The first process is melting. So if it is melting, what is happening? The solid is getting converted into liquid. Okay, so this number one is melting. Then number two, process number two, liquid is getting converted into gas. So if liquid is getting converted into gas, that process is called evaporation. So it evaporates, melt, evaporates, and then get converted into gas. In the same way, if we talk about three, that is gas to liquid, then it is condensation. Okay, the water condensates. Okay, or the process is called condensation. Okay, now the fourth process in which liquid is changing into solid, that is freezing, or the water freezes. All right, so here the conversion of different states of water is taking place, and now you know how. Now, how can water be evaporated faster or slower? There's a question. So we have learned about evaporation. We have also learned that evaporation takes place at normal temperature also, at room temperature also. So what are the conditions that affect how fast it evaporates? Okay, for example, what do you see evaporation on a cold day versus evaporation on a hot day? Evaporation on a hot day is faster than evaporation on a cold day. If you put your clothes for drying inside the room and you put the clothes to dry outside in the heat of the sun, when will the clothes dry faster? When you put it outside. All right. So this is what the activity tells us about. What are the conditions? If there is more heat, okay, if the temperature is high, if the heat is more, then water will evaporate faster. Okay. Is that clear? So now we will come to activity 8.8. Here what we are doing is taking identical caps of two bottles. Pure equal amount of water in each of the cap. Place one cap in sunlight and keep the other one in shade. Okay? What you see, what do you observe after 15 minutes? You can do it on a rainy day, you can do it on a windy day to see how it affects your experiment. You will observe that water evaporates faster. Water evaporates faster when it is kept in sunlight compared to when it is kept in the shade. Similarly, as I told you, clothes dry faster on a hot sunny day rather than on a windy day or on a rainy day, or if it is, kept inside the house to dry. Okay. So another common observation is that clothes, as I told you, will dry slowly on a rainy day. On a rainy day, water evaporates slowly. If the amount of water in the air is already high, then water evaporates slowly. If there is more humidity, then water will evaporate slowly. Now, what is cooling effect? Have you ever drank water from a matka? Do you know what a matka is? Matka is an earthen pot. Okay, so nowadays, the matka is replaced by stainless steel pots for storing drinking water. But earlier times, there was earthen pot, and in some villages, you will still find the earthen pots there. Okay, so Avi, when she drinks water from the earthen pot, she expresses a surprise and she asks why the earthen pot water is so cold. I never observed water getting cold in a stainless steel pot. What do you think is the reason? Now she's thinking, why is it happening? Why is it cold? So she thinks that let us see an activity, let us make a model. So she takes two earthen pots of different sizes. Then she fills the bottom of the larger pot with a layer of sand, and smaller pot, place the smaller pot into the center of the larger one. In this, just let us see the figure. Yeah, something like this. See, she has taken a larger pot, then she's filled it with sand, and then she put the smaller pot. Okay, place a lid or a wet jute sack to cover the top of the smaller pot, something like this. Okay, then you can also make a drawing of the pot in pot cooler once it is ready. You allow it for 4 to 5 hours in the for the mini pot in pot cooler to cool down. Time range can be influenced by many conditions. So you will see how the cooling effect is taking place, for how many days the vegetables and the fruits in it are fresh. Okay, so what is this? What else can be done in place of, what can else be kept in place of sand for better cooling? All right, so there's a familiar, you can see this is called a surahi. Surahi, in summers they were used to store water so that water remains cold for a long amount of time. Okay, now how do clouds give us rain? So it's a rainy day and you're thinking, from where are the rain coming? Okay, you're wondering, how do clouds give us rain? So here also condensation plays a significant role. Okay, what does it do? It brings back the evaporated water to the earth's surface. Now how does this happen? So when air moves higher above the earth's surface, it becomes cooler and cooler, and at certain heights the air gets so cool that the water vapor gets converted into droplets by the process of condensation. Yes, right. So these small droplets floats in the air and forms clouds. Many water droplets join together to form bigger drops of water. Some drops get so heavy that they start falling. These falling water drops are called rain. Okay, so now you know how do clouds rain. There's a small poem, you guys can go through it. So here's a group activity which you guys can do in a group. If you need help with this activity, you can always ask me. Now, in activity 811, let us understand the process. What is this process? How is it happening? You see, we have a diagram, change of states and movement of water. You see the water in the river or the sea or the pond, it gets converted into water vapor. Okay, how? By the process of evaporation. So they gets converted into water vapor. Okay, now water vapor, what happens? They keep going up, 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 and keep collecting. They because of the cooling, they form, convert into water droplets, and they form a cloud like this, right? By the process of condensation. So water droplets by the process of condensation. So they are forming clouds by the process of condensation. Okay, same happens with all the water which is evaporating from the surface of the earth. All right, and from the trees, everywhere, whatever water is evaporating, they're going high up in the air. They're converting into water droplets due to cooling up, and then they are these water droplets are together forming clouds. Okay, so conversion of water vapor to water droplets is taking place by the process of condensation. And once what happens, of collecting and collecting, they become so heavy that they start falling, bigger water droplets, they start falling down in the form of rain, and they again come and fill up the water on the earth surface. All right, so this process is called water cycle. The water from the ocean and the earth surface evaporates. It goes into the atmosphere in the form of vapor, and then it returns as rain, hail, or snow, ultimately flowing back into the ocean. So this circulation of water is known as water cycle. All right. So only a small portion of water available on the earth is fit for use by plants, animals, and humans. You know, most of the water is in the oceans. Okay, Pacific Ocean, Indian Ocean, Arctic Ocean. It cannot be used directly. We use water for drinking and also for many other activities like washing, cleaning, right, mopping. The number of people using water is increasing with the rise in population. So what do we have now? Because many more people are using water, what do we have now? The increasing demand for water. Okay, and that is why it causes the shortage in many parts of the world. There are many parts of the world where there is shortage of water. There is not sufficient water to do all the kind of activity. So it is what is very important. It is very important to use water wisely. You should avoid wasting water. You should keep uh, our water free from pollution, water bodies free from pollution. You should not throw any waste if you see any water bodies around. Okay, so we will learn more about water and how do we conserve it in the chapter called Nature's Treasure. All right, so for now we have completed this water states of water chapter. These are some keywords which you all should definitely go and go through and should know what do they mean. All right, in my next video I'll be doing as usual. I'll be telling you, completing the NCERT exercise questions with you. All right, if you need any other help, please mention it in the comment section. If you need extra questions from the chapter, please put it in the comment section. Okay, I have my entire playlist for all the chapters from Curiosity Class 6. So please go through and keep watching, keep working hard. Take care and bye.